Hey, I'm Johnny,
I'm Saxon.
and we are doing the development diaries for the Art of Dead on Arrival project.
Yep, it's coming out very soon for Android and iPhone, yes.
Today we're here to talk to you about the art side. So Saxon does a lot of 3D, I do the TD, and together we make a pretty good team.
Yeah, we're unstoppable.
So watch out.
To start with, Paul came to me with a build and us with a build, and you've seen it. It was very bare bones, squares and spheres, and we had to kind of decide, on an art style and what would work with the iPhone. That was our test device, I guess.
I think this is our first game on Unity, right?
Yeah, it's the first one.
N3V
game coming out.
This was exploring the Unity.
Yeah, it's definitely testing out what we could do, and we wanted as many things on screen as possible. Zombies in this case.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went pretty low budget to start with. We're talking 100 try, 64-bit textures. We eventually decided to kick it up a notch because the iPhone's pretty powerful. The Android devices are all pretty powerful. They can handle good stuff if it's done correctly. And Unity is a good engine. It works for us. Yeah. So a big thing I had to start working with was the floor textures, actually, because as a top-down shooter, you see that a lot of the time, and getting the right contrast. That there's a fine balance with having the character get lost in the detail and finding something that looks good. So I went through quite a few iterations of different floor textures and making them up and everything to do that. And I decided on large squares tend to find that balance, but you have to cut that down with nice grunge and get a color scheme going that works, that contrasts nicely with the player. Originally it was a military guy, and I found that I couldn't put my finger on it to start with because but that something was off, and eventually I realized that the greens and browns and greys and everything, they just the player character got totally lost in the environment. For myself personally, that art is very iterative. You go through design stages and think things. What do you think works at one time? Something that changes and it doesn't work anymore. But I mean, that's all part of the game. It's it's a lot of fun. That's what keeps me interested. It's funny seeing the player go from what it was to what it is now, and what it'll be in the future. Who knows? But yeah.
2D?
2D, yeah. You're the 2D
Okay,
artist.
alright. I was responsible for doing the logo, Dead on Arrival. In the beginning, I spent a lot of time with black and white. I like to work with silhouettes. It helps give me a good direction of where I want to go. I spent a bit of time with text layout. Getting the text right. I used a splatter effect that I made to add and take away from the silhouette. After that, I wanted to design a logo or a logo icon to go with the text. I came up with a sort of a blood splatter that held a skull silhouette, and I felt that it worked nicely with the text. So after that process, it was now moving on to how I was going to use the silhouette to create something interesting. I know that I wanted to go grungy, so I was looking at putting the logo in a book or on a wall, and I think in the end I decided that it was going to be a sort of graffiti effect on a wall. And this is where overlay effects came in real handy, and for those of you guys who use Photoshop, you'll know what I mean, that layer effects are just awesome. They can do some pretty amazing things, and and I know I used overlay a lot, and that was definitely one of my more favorite layer effects. You know, I added a scalpel on the bottom to keep in line with the hospital theme. After that, it was a matter of using that logo to create a loading screen, and so with the loading screen, I know that I wanted to have zombie silhouettes, and I was looking for reference photos, and I found that actually, like, people clubbing gave a really good kind of zombie silhouette, because, you know, they've got their hands in the air.
Yeah, we actually went out clubbing and started taking photos.
We didn't
No,
really.
no.
And
We should do that, though.
Yeah, we will. Yeah, let's go clubbing
Yeah.
for our zombie game.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yes, so I used silhouettes of people clubbing as zombies because I found that it worked well. And like I find that for me anyway, the design process, like thinking of the idea and thinking of the concept takes me a little while. I know I'm a little bit of a perfectionist, and I really want my idea to be really, really strong. And after I have my solid idea, then a lot of my art just falls in place. It's really quickly, like, it's ridiculous. Sometimes I'll spend hours on the design and maybe about, I don't know, 45 minutes on, maybe even less than that, yeah, half an hour on implementation. It just all comes together after I have my idea.
Yeah.
Cool. Alright, thanks for watching. We will try to post a Dev Diary art vid.
Yeah, every week. Yeah, and we'll go into different.
Or every so often.
Yeah, or, you know, we'll go into different areas of you know, the art. It's just me and Johnny working on it. So we're the super art team. And Paul, our magnificent coder and studio head, who does need a lot of sleep, don't we all?
Yeah.
But yeah, subscribe to us on YouTube. Check out our other games. Check out M3V. What else? Check out deadonarrivalgame.com or deadonarrival.com.
Yeah,
deadonarrivalgame.com.
deadonarrivalgame.com.
Yeah. And you know, check back for new dev updates and game trailers and etc. It's an exciting time. I think you guys are going to like what we put out.
All
right. See you later. It's a good logo, I think, you know.
I know,
it
I
fits,
know, don't you think?
I do. I'm Saxon, 3D artist, and hobbyist 2D artist, I guess. I don't know. No, cut that out.
That was our first Dev Diary on
They
the art.
probably won't get any better. I'm sorry. You know, my Paul, the coder, okay, you've met him before, he needs a lot of sleep.
He never sleeps.
Never sleeps. You know, so yeah, we ended up going for like the comic booky realism kind of style, and I think it works for us.
Does that even make sense?
Yeah, comic booky realism.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
Comic booky realism.
Yeah,
that's a new genre.
Well, I know what I mean. Any comments?
No, you've done a fantastic job, mate.
Yeah, right. Thanks.
Beautiful.
Thanks, Ed. Yeah, development build.
Actually, yeah, just stop talking.